know definitely grace has favored you to be alive this morning. It's another brand new day, the 14th of February 2022, and it's a special occasion for lovers. We call it Valentine's, St. Valentine's Day. To all of you that I see you are. You're welcome to the show. It's Monday, GN Radio UK. We are live on www.gnradiouk.com. We're also live on Facebook, GN Radio UK, YouTube, GN Radio UK. As usual, today we are privileged to have
into a well. So the essence of my praise is centered.
Lawyer Amy Denter from Abinelle Solicitors to give us a legal education.
Through a lot, but grace sustains.
As is done every Monday, 10 o'clock to 11.
It's now a testimony
Of your host, Darling J here.
So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace.
So we are committing our hands, ourselves to the hands of the Almighty God to make sure
Was you, my lawyer?
everything goes smooth.
It was you.
And today we're going to have more of a discussion.
So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Ajum, wajum. Hey, ajumo, nyame, ajumo.
And it's about EU settlement route.
See,
EU settlement applicants, marriage applicants.
it's centered on your grace.
There's been massive refusals. So today we are going to delve into why and how most people are being refused, and also how to make the right application. If you are an overstayer and your children has granted a limited leave to remain, under what circumstance you can also be settled or get your legal right here in the UK.
My story, who has given me
Our professor,
turn my into dancing. It is you and just your grace.
Amy Denter, is ready to give us that education for today. So today is going to be a bit different from the usual. So just bear with us.
It is you.
But it's still, if you still got a few questions, I prefer you send them on our Facebook wall. We shall have limited time to answer them, but don't worry, you won't be left out completely. You are still with us. On that note, let me quickly go and welcome
Grace and mercy.
my lawyer one. Good morning, Lawyer Amy.
Good morning.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
A very happy Valentine's to you too.
I heard yesterday you were Valentine, so your phone was switched off. Is that correct? Now, Valentine, what do you eh? Anyway, that's just by the way. Good morning once again, and welcome. We are privileged to have you again today. I hope everything is okay. The family, the business.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God.
Okay, doing well. Today, I want us to talk about how people can make application for let me quickly say, can I make an application if I am an overstayer and my children have been granted limited leave to remain under the EU settlement? What are the requirements?
Okay, so Darling J, it's possible. It's possible because if you look at the rules under Appendix FM, the rules include the fact that if your child has limited leave to remain granted under the EU settlement route, then yes, that is one of the grounds that you can make the application on. So that is very important, and it's a change because before your child had to be 7 years old or have indefinite leave to remain, or the child should be British, a British citizen. But now, if it includes the fact that your child has pre-settled status, limited leave to remain, then we know that there's a possibility that you can also regularize your stay in the UK as well.
Okay, so let me ask you this way.
Yeah.
Supposing I'm overstayer,
Yeah.
and my partner too is overstayer, they don't have any trace of our immigration records, and we manage to lodge ourselves somewhere illegally.
Yes.
And by any chance we have a child in between us.
Yeah.
How can the child be regularized? Because I'm an illegal immigrant, my partner is an illegal immigrant. So on what circumstance, on what basis can we regularize our child's stay for her or for him to get leave to remain?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, if both parents are overstayers, for example, you can't immediately regularize your child's stay if the child is under the age of 7 or is not 10 years yet. But we know from Appendix FM that if your child has lived continuously in the UK for 7 years, then there's a chance you can actually, you can apply for leave, but there's a chance that you will be granted limited leave to remain. But you need to show so much, You can't just say you are an overstayer, the child is 7, so that means automatically the child should be granted some sort of leave. You have to make sure that the child has lived here for 7 years and they have sort of formed ties, roots. They've, built up roots in the United Kingdom. When I say roots, they have cousins, they have friends, they have family, they're at school, they have, a social background, with their friends and so on. And you need to demonstrate that if the child is removed from the UK, it will have an adverse impact on the child emotionally, psychologically, and it will not be in the child's best interests for the child to be removed from the UK. So, darling J, these are the things that the Home Office will want to look into before they would consider such an application.
Before they would consider such an application. So now, my child has got a limited leave to remain.
Right.
So until what year or what age can I also go for that and say, okay, now my child has got limited, so I also want to regularize my stay?
Okay. So first and foremost, the child has to be under the age of 18. Before we can even start with the process, right? There's something, you see, often I get people asking me that, okay, Amy, you're saying that we can apply for limited leave to remain, but where does it say that? Because we've never heard that a child who has limited leave to remain under Appendix EU can a parent can rely on that child. Well, if you look at the Appendix FM and you look at the relationship requirements, you see it's there and printed in bold that if your child has limited leave to remain, you may be able to apply to regularize your stay in the UK. However, darling Jane, there's one cracks to it all. It does not mean that your child has limited leave to remain, so automatically you are entitled to leave as well. Okay. Of course, there are certain other requirements. You need to show that you have that sole parental responsibility for the child in question. That is very important. So you can't say that you never take the child to school, you never take the child to the GP or any of the other medical appointments or events or any, you are not present. But at the same time, now they've got a limited leave to remain, you want to say that you are there for them. No, you have to be able to show it. With school, not only do you just maybe you pick them up once in a year. No, you pick them up on a regular basis. When they have parents' evenings, you are in attendance. When there are other school-related activities, you attend. Your name is on the school records to show that you are the father or you are the mother of this child in question, these are the things that go to help towards building our case, building the case up. So these are the things, darling J. We need to make sure we build a strong case.
So that's always necessary to satisfy all the requirements. For example, maybe I go to parents' evening, but I don't take my child to GP. And if I'm not able to show that I take my child, would that also affect the application?
Right. So, as part of the requirements is sole parental responsibility. So there does not necessarily have to be GP or school. To me, it's either or. If you participate in both, fantastic. It makes the application even much better, but if it's just the school you take the child to, then we concentrate and focus our energies on the school. Each of them will prove the same point anyway. So it should be good to go.
It should be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now let's look at the EU settlement applications. When we talk about EU settlement application, what is it? What does it entail?
Okay, so with the EU settlement applications, as we know, it's just, I would say we used to have the EU regulations, and then in 2019, the EU settlement scheme opened up to EU nationals and their family members. So it's a scheme in which if you're a family member or an EU national, you can apply to regularize your stay in the United Kingdom. Of course, we know that there was a deadline set for the 30th of June 2021, and it meant that you would need to have applied under the scheme if you were a family member or an EU national by that deadline. However, it may be that you are still listening and you are a German national, you've been here for 10 years, you're a German national, you've been here for 5 years, you've even been here for 3 years, and you have maybe, let's say, for example, you have a registration certificate if you've been here for less than 5 years, or maybe you have something called permanent residence card or permanent residence document, and you haven't applied under the EU settlement. There's still a chance. All hope is not lost. Although the deadline was on the 30th of June, there is sort of certain mitigating circumstances in which they could say, okay, you were late, but we'll pardon you. We'll give you a chance. It may be that you were sick, last year, 30th of June, so you couldn't apply. It might be that you suffer from maybe mental health issues. They could look into that and try and help you there. It might be that even, your use of technology is very poor. So you're not, technology savvy. So they could give you that exception there. But there's still a chance, to regularize yourself under the scheme.
Because most often we hear of our EU settlements. It's all about EU settlements. So like the whole immigration system is based on EU settlement, like more like EU people in European Union citizens and stuff like that. And that's why we need to make clarification for people to understand how they can go about doing such an application. Now, talking about marriage application. The Home Office seems to be refusing applications stating that the marriage is not registered before the specified date of 31st December, as you mentioned, despite the customary being held before the deadline. How can this be resolved?
Okay, so customary marriage. Ghanaian, let's say, for example, we're talking about Ghanaian customary marriage. Okay, Ghanaian customary marriage is a wide scope, and I think if we are relating it to Ghana, then I think what would be very helpful is if we speak tree and speak so that people understand what it really entails.
You can mix it up.
All right. Inti, you see Ghana customary marriage, Ghanaian customary marriage. If I damn ye this wa Ghana. Oko warrior. You say your customs I say. Your customary marriage, no. Of course, it entails say ebia imbusuafo nemi enu ni nya ombehia the customs and the culture that is involved in making sure the marriage is carried out. This is by way of agreement between the families. It can also be by way of dowry being paid. These are our laws and our custom. Now, the Home Office often in recent weeks, you see that they'll be saying so much. The home refusal decision. Maybe I'll be aware 1st of September 2020, right? But registration by maybe January 25th, 2021. The EU deadline, one of the EU deadlines that was set for 31st of December 2020, what they said they would want, the sponsor or the family member, you would be in a relationship before that time. And they say the relationship has to be in existence. So before that date, before be accepted, a warrior fine. However, nim say what Ghana mran ankasa and can will be say who worry on the 1st of September 2020. Omun can say it is compulsory say who be register marriage after that date.
Yeah.
So we share mran you share mran what Ghana mo. Who say in the act or the Marriages Act, it does not specifically say, you have to register with marriage. Register. It says there's a key word I'm going to use it. The key word I'm going to use it is may. May. You see, the Marriages Act 1884 to 1985. It says may. It says come may. Not just say and yet compulsory say while worrying will register with marriage.
Yeah.
Now, the Home Office, they be a mobile back, refusing marriage applications. Sometimes, they say, the marriage was not registered before the 31st of December 2020. Because of that reason, or will refuse the application. But say, you come back again, as I've explained, you come back to Mano or Ghana. They say it's not compulsory. It is what wins. Well, the American will say, Darling J. What wins is the fact that Ghana customary marriage is governed by the Marriage Act. It's not governed by any laws in the UK. Into the omuye wa Ghana hoa mra wa Ghana no enwana or krom ha say back krom ha enwana ese omudiso. Into so we be a who worry before the 31st of December families no munyat na say dowry buy in kofo by the witness say Come, na BBRC, family, everything has been done, the consents have been given, everything, and the marriage happened on the 1st of September. We have to know, so that 1st September 2020, and no, the date now, say Home Office share. And yet data, can say on the 1st of January 2021, so that date now, say so David, because say registration. It is not compulsory. They mentioned may. It means that you can decide to register, you can decide not to register. So in this case, if you've registered your marriage after 31st of December 2020, what we are saying is technically no, I say Home Office no, because who worry families no before the 31st of December 2020. Even in your absence, but mama, papa, cousins, aunties, with the respective families, sad day no so. It is a show marriage certificate, ankasa. There's so many documents attached to a marriage certificate. But who said the form of marriage certificate, the long form no. Date of marriage now what's that form no. That is the data they are using what's not from her. And yet data, call registry office, call register, that can happen at any time and it may even not happen at all because it's not compulsory. Yeah. Darling J, although said the Home Office, sometimes a bit difficult to me say, omo ye decision no in favor yo omo free omo say we marriage na ye late ho ana e de fear the who be aba omo baby so when you say decision ni bia you've been refused that so what from her you know say you'd have a right of appeal when you're 14 days from the date of appeal to appeal what's our situation more at all in time na brae ho na ntimi mboa o sa kwan paso wo Ghana nso na sa asem ato na wo pese wo be join wo dofo pa bi wo krom ha almost David your marriage was registered late wo worry no mo register in ntimi ye maumba over 28 days before said 28 days as at the day of your refusal the date on the refusal letter what kind 28 days are or some reno so the bear appeal intim pachawa emrana na ye de bear juma ye emrana wo wo Ghana na ye de bear juma enye UK mra inti ye betimi a fight omo aje case na ma ama wedding kunim intim pachawa ya na mo friend na ya guide mo on what to do.
Okay. Ayana wa friend when mo accept na waka she's talking about Abinelle Solicitors. Abinelle Solicitors is located at number 14 Claypole Road, Stratford, East London, which is they have the postcode E152RJ. That's E152RJ is the postcode. So if you got any issues, immigration issues, do not hesitate to contact them. Their telephone numbers are 0203 759 3309. That's 0203 759 3309. Or mobile line 07824 705 353. I repeat 07824 705 353. These are their numbers. You can visit them online www.abinellesolicitors.co.uk. Abinelle is spelled ABINELLESOLLICITORS. That's one word, abinellesolicitors.co.uk. So you can also send them email via info@abinellesolicitors.co.uk. So these are their contact details. You can reach out to them any day, anytime, and they got expert team which can resolve any problem that might confront you in terms of your stay here in the United Kingdom. All right, so Emidente, Sister Emidente, it didn't hear the rough. Amy. So now we're still talking about. So why is it that what did they want answer? Well, of course you are a lawyer. So why is this there's been so many refusals regarding to this particular marriage application? See, is this Home Office someone said that? And I said they don't even know our law. Can you just tell us something bit? You should know better.
I think because of that specified date of 31st of December.
On a normal day, I'm on for.
That's right. And of to omono because omo ebi omo nti yenya rana seno.
Of course.
So omo say okay, well it would technically be the date of registration. Na say with the date amoko registry hoko sign a helper say but yemran say yemran ka say you may register your marriage. They've used the terms may. Into fact say it is may. We have individuals who will decide to register and those who will decide not to. We may have individuals who register the same day as the customary marriage. You have those two who decide to register a few weeks or a few months after. It may even be that there are delays with the registration period, registration process in Ghana. It could be that it was registered a little bit later because of backlog. There's so many issues. But what we have to be confident and bold about is the validity of the marriage is not in question if they married before the 31st of December 2020. Once the marriage has gone ahead, in the eyes of, our Ghanaian customary laws, that is what they should use. That is what they should use. Okay. Sometimes, no. We'll call for court appeal, no. Well, and they tell you, say, okay, you're refusing because marriage registration date, no, it was after the 31st of December 2020. Into your refusal, into so appeal. Okay, we appeal and we go to court. Court, now you are able to establish, maybe through expert evidence, through case law, you are able to establish, say, in actual fact, no, is the date of marriage and not the date of registration. Into maybe a home office rep, no, and a barrister, no, Betiasia, judge, and so no, Betiasia say, okay, that's fine, we now understand. Just when Ufili say at that point, no, my winning a case, and no dear, say Omoka say, well, it's the date of registration. Once they've understood it's not that date, and it's the date that our marriage took place, no, and yeah, yadin kunim. Darling J, no, na immediate technicalities, benukakra. Maybe at that point, because sometimes say the entry clearance officer, for example, or the home office rep, when they are considering the case, no mutual marriage certificate, no, omuhu say registration date, no, is not in line with maybe at the 31st of December. How are some of the decisions, no, how are now more refusing? Until you see, say, there's just one refusal decision there, one point, and that's what they are basing their argument on. But sometimes who call court, darling J, who say, nyama me see, hey, na nyama eba from all corners. Bet me started say they are picking on the marriage itself. Although, say, in the refusal decision, no, they never discussed that. They never disagreed with anything to do with the relationship. But who says, say, that side is satisfied. In order to make sure, say, because as you know, the home office or the barrister's job for the home office, no, is to make sure, say, they protect the state. Is to make sure, say, if you do not deserve to be in the UK or deserve to travel to the UK, they will stop you from doing so. So you see, say, they now go into other points. Marriage, I should say, Papa say, that may be if you are in Ghana, they want to check, say, okay, Muse marriage, is it one of convenience? To Kwanko Ghana na u friend or telephone swan and our friend or WhatsApp. Mokra Musima worry. Yen photo back cry say, Wune wodofo achucha kama. You see, these are some of the issues that would then, come up in the appeal. They will even say things like, oh, yeah, well, worry, there's a few months near unko huno shadan huno with Winnie. Inti then a more worry in Jindi. No, Inti darling J, apart from say, even when they refuse on the grounds of marriage registration not being registered before the 31st of December 2020, we need to be careful. I say fighting on that point they have raised about the validity of the marriage. But I say kind to say, I say to me, say there be your case no amuye kama into apart from registration no other things. We are showing you that our marriage no our marriage of convenience. So who from her the way to show say your marriage is that of a legitimate marriage. Of course, the burden of proof, no, our home office, but you have to try your best to show beyond all doubt that we marriage, no, papa through your evidence. It's darling, WhatsApp come. Ebia na akasa one wo partner no debia na mo kasa I love you, how are you doing, I mean what are you doing this morning, some WhatsApp communication I say what me printing in ya kama appeal case no. Apart from that no, you can still, although the home office never mentioned that they doubt that they doubt that it's a marriage, a genuine marriage is not one that is genuine. You can, before they even ask you what provided, when your letters from family and friends, and I say, a bimu cry be support who say, okay, yenko court together, witness statements. I just say, papa say, umunim say, what worry, worry, pa. You got engaged on this date, you married on this date. If they know that information, they know say what worry no come and ye fake. No. Oh, these are the things. What provided with money transfer receipts? So the background of Ghana, what provided with WhatsApp communication? What to coin 2-3 weeks? I go home the background. What provided and also. Marco Blabadi Beach, not to trap pictures. Come. What printing in ya come Eddie so baby I will call you know. What throw was so say, oh, you call this date on the 27th, you call Labadi Beach, I could do it dog. And now I said, sorry, on a Sunday, you show that, on this date, you're sorry together. Now, because says evidence, not any application, no more. Remember, says, so court, 1.2 no, 1 point, bet me, I've done it 10 points. So you need to make sure, say, you've protected yourself properly. For example, Ebia, what worrying so, but before say what worrying, not what divorce. For example, you are divorced. You don't wait until say, okay, later, now what provided with divorce certificate. Add your divorce certificate or appeal bundle no more who say you are divorced. It become not problem about marriage certificate. So what divorce? By a case we a bachelor, a case we a spinster. Or what divorce? It should say you are a divorcee. Nyama we ninya answer na wo court on. Check it say ninya asiye wo de buy ho a ye be check bibia e ho say bibia is edaye kama answer na wo ho, because if they have 1 point against you but nyama na omo share the first time, I can guarantee you say so court the next court for the next step at that point no oho na omo kwako battle ho inti ubeye wo ready for battle answer na we drew court room ho. So these are some of the things that I wanted to make a T4 aware of.
Good. That's a good explanation. That is more of discussion than say more amount for questions. Me were few questions for him. I was here to me answer, but you were America. But for the time being, my may and welcome Nanajiman, our house prefect. He's really sharing the feed. Until he said, Osaka, now Oswashe, do the same. Don't just sit idle and just be a greedy and listen all by yourself. Do share for us so that it reaches many people. Fred Amoa, thank you for joining us. And DJ Kobe, thank you for joining us. Me one question, I'll say, I also, you don't mind, I've got so many questions for you, don't worry.
Okay.
But my main answer, for I said, the message you ban so I can now you are ignoring them and they don't like it one bit. We say I'm due for my 2.5 renewal. What are the requirements? Is it the same as initial? Is the requirement the same as the initial application? Can you brief me what I need for my 2.5 renewal?
Oh yes, the requirements under Appendix FM remain the same, unless it be switching routes. It be at 1 casa or 5 or 10 years.
Or just 2.5 renewal.
2.5. Okay. If let's say they are on the same route, I'll call for another 2.5. Then you need to meet the requirements under Appendix FM.
Okay.
What are some of the requirements? The relationship requirements, for example, that your child is British, indefinite holder, or has limited leave to remain under Appendix EU. You're also looking at things like suitability. Of course, criminal offenses, all would have, if since the last 2.5, you need to make sure you disclose in order for them to check whether you meet the suitability requirements or not.
Okay.
For example, so of course, you need to have that. So under Appendix FM, EX1, you need to have the child being in the UK, and also that you have sole parental responsibility. If this is your second one, you have to continually make sure, say, who show back, who didn't go school, who didn't go to GP, who didn't go to play center, and also come, and then that it would be unreasonable for the child to leave the UK or for you to leave the UK for that case. And of course, through proving these letters from these institutions, from family, from friends, you can prove that point as well. So it remains the same. It hasn't changed unless you are switching from the 10-year route to the 5-year route.
Okay. So, Fred, our message about say is remain the same. Send our first one no. Okay, let me pick one from Nanajima on the Facebook wall. Also, please, lawyer, why is it that there are too many visa refusal in Ghana?
Oh wow, Nanajiman,
any idea?
Hey, that's a very good question, Nanajiman. There's so many refusals because we do not meet the rules. That's a sad thing. There are rules to visiting the UK under Appendix V, and we need to make sure, we meeting rules not to a T. You know, sometimes when you're situation the person is in Ghana and they are not proving what they are doing in Ghana. They can't prove it. You know, they say they want to come here on a visit, but what shows they don't provide that evidence. They leave that evidence aside. Maybe not omusika sem. Oma provided some bank statements, but prove it where the money is coming from. There's something called money laundering. It raises all these suspicions when you don't prove where the money is coming from. Maybe not boutique trading. You need to prove to them through financial accounts, your cash flow, your balance sheet, your profit and loss. But listen, I have a business. I have a certificate of registration. My register my business. Inti enyese me ko jiska free every nipa and enyese me be fraudulent, but it's from a legitimate source. Okay, my source of income is legitimate. Omo person who say you are clean. Well, in case no, you've provided all the information. The guarantee is higher. It's not definite, but it's much higher. You give yourself a better chance. So that is the reason why sometimes we often fail. If you are not school, you're in university, work your letter or unji letter, but you provide just maybe an induction letter, say, or university. No, you need more. They want to know when you started the course, what course you're doing, and when you're going to finish. Because they are able, and what you are doing, they are able to also make an assessment through their discretion. Say, a mechanical engineering, why up to level 200 pay. I cut another 2 years now, baby. It's what provided more with letter, status side information. They will see, say, we be a genuine visitor because all back from Hano, a trend so say, if you also come back, I got 200 degrees. So all of these things you need to provide. You can also provide pay slips, for example. To me, my 6 months pay slips. Abra, bank statement, HSS, askano, komu. And also a problem because not just obiat me, sorry, drafted pay slips amount. But someone who said, would you 4,000 Ghana cedis, for example, a month? Saskano so sa call bank account with a description saying it is your salary. What to me who say, a bit to me, I'm a case now. What do you letter from employer? Contract of employment. Umbeka say, nipa way or you're a very serious person. Minjin dise obeba from her, abetina unlawfully. Yes.
Okay. Another question I drop is so we see I came on tier 2 visa and the business is no more in existence. I have a child with me when I came, and I still got few months left on my visa, but I've decided to stay permanent. What should I do?
Tier 2 visa, the business is no longer
in existence.
distance. Well, if you've got a couple of months left, there could be an opportunity to switch depending on your circumstances. It just depends on your circumstances. And also, importantly, sometimes Home Office or business and what they can do is they can curtail your visa, they can cancel it, because the purpose for why you are here, any hobby, then why should they continue providing you with the leave? No more can. You see, importantly, and so we have to make sure, the leave has not been cancelled. If it hasn't been cancelled and there's a chance for you to...
But how would... Okay, they will communicate with the holder.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. Maybe by email, by posts, to say that it's been curtailed. Sometimes, when your situation has been curtailed, but you don't even have any idea. In that case, if you come and see us, you're betting me I check it on your Home Office data to find out what has happened, where, if there's any actions that have been taken concerning your leave, possibly maybe the Home Office data can pull that up. You betting me I check it, answer why your application at the airport. But if it hasn't been curtailed, it has not been cancelled, you can switch maybe a partner or British passport. You can switch or indefinite. Our limited leave to remain an appendix EU. And I said,
of course, go on.
And I said, settlement, or better me a switching to from the visa or CCR to a partner route. Ebian so or no bit. Well, after more worry, they can switch as a partner. We've mentioned already. They can also switch even as a skilled worker, possibly, depending if they are they've gone into employment now, as opposed to being in a business. They are now employed with a company that have a sponsorship license, and the occupation and our job falls under the occupation list, the wanted occupations under that list. Then there may be a chance to switch. In any event, in term. What you don't want is a visa you're an overstayer, and you would have to, if any application that you make, you would have to consider going back to Ghana to make an entry clearance application to come back into the UK. So these are some of the points.
But what about this Siana also kutaba akoda inti is like since she's still based on your bar, she's still based on the visa.
Yes.
Inti Siana so she inti just on to so so when you're British no na worry. And another side I saw Mukofi and I said ombetumi awaru kruma.
Ombetumi awaru kruma, providing says she has lawful residence, the immigration status is satisfied.
So what you entry visa the ombetumi awaru kruma without necessarily going back home. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Where is to say where the Africano? Or say I was deported in 2010.
Yeah.
2010. Me trasa me kanichi. Or say you deported no Ghana 2010. Na opeso who say deportation of the man actually she overstayed. She was meant to be in school. She was meant to be in school, and unfortunately, for some reason, she couldn't go to school, and the immigration traced her. I think the school reported her, and she got caught and deported. So, what are my chances of coming back to UK again?
Right. Okay. So it just depends. If ABA deportation, deport, I don't know if maybe she voluntarily, people use the words deportation, but it could be, say, Home Office or more chill. You voluntarily decided to leave the UK. And I said, you were removed. You see, it would be deportation. You've been removed. So it really just depends. I think what she should do, she should give me a call. And I'll say she can message.
Ghana. Question if we Ghana. Anyway.
And she can WhatsApp. Let us know a little bit more about it, whether she was removed or she voluntarily decided, she said she'll go.
Let's look at this scenario whereby I presume someone didn't call because I don't say school no one call. And to convinced them said the school reported her so on school. And she got caught and they just removed her. Until let's look at this scenario where Home Office forced her out of the country. What are her chances of coming back?
Okay, so if Home Office have forced you out of the country, of course, you wouldn't be able to, depending on when you left the UK, you didn't leave voluntarily, you wouldn't be able to, let's say you left maybe a couple of months ago, you wouldn't be able to make an application to come in.
That was 2010.
2010, it's been 10 years though. So it's even been 12 years. So now, if you didn't leave voluntarily and you left because you were removed from the UK by the Home Office, then what we can say is we can make an application now because we can then tell them that the period in which she needs to serve, she served that period. She can now make a fresh application at them. Because that's since passed, it's as I said, it's been 12 years indeed.
Okay.
Emrano Dawson, since that time.
Emrano Dawson, and so with this, and irrespective of what application say or they will disregard the deportation. Is that correct?
Yes. However,
says she's applied to visit UK. Maybe I'll say this or bad visitor. Say, when you just say. Now, cry my chance of because no uncle. Now, see how conversative UK. Don't you think they will base on that decline?
Okay. Well, yes. You of course that would be in your mind because of course one didn't cry. However, the able can say once what disclosure of forms no so what catch they see here because they will ask you on the forms. Have you ever been removed before? Yeah. Have you ever been deported before? You make sure say what disclosure
yes.
And you give them the reasons for that. It's to their discretion. It's up to them. It's at their discretion to decide whether they should let you back in again. Well, if 12 years has since passed, maybe now with circumstances assistant. Maybe at the time you arrived in the UK 12 years ago, you were much younger. You didn't have a regular income. And that was why you had difficulties paying for your fees. Maybe the person who sponsored you to travel to the UK as a student, the kind of crowd or Jaiwoma, mitigating circumstances, Ninyano. It says, so your application, would the cover letter, you bet run kama. Udiatum said, well, the period of time in which she stayed in Ghana has been 12 years, which far surpasses any sort of maybe penalty she would have to serve. Also, you also mentioned, the circumstances are a man back from her. One corner school, and there's definitely some circumstances, darling Jay. It may be, as I said, so the time is financial. It's financial.
In every situation, there's a reason. Definitely, you need to state. Maybe a school now, like you just said. Maybe there's a financial circumstance. Maybe I went to me. So whatever that happened, you must provide those reasons to convince the caseworker. Is that correct?
That is correct. And then not only do you provide those reasons to convince them, you let them know of your change in circumstances, if any. So maybe 10, 12 years ago, you didn't have your own business, you were not, married, you didn't have children, for example. But now things have changed. You're married, you have children, so you have those commitments.
You are now such a responsible person, mature. Okay.
All right. Even maybe since then, you've even acquired a land, things are going very well for you. All of this information, if you want to visit the UK, could be some very valuable information. I will be to me.
Good for sharing us with all this information. Now, Nanajima, besides any update for today,
right.
I think that will, if any, just brief us before we go. Only 5 minutes left.
Right.
And then your appointment.
So, Nana Jiman and to the listeners, one of the updates I've been looking very closely at is Supreme Court decision now concerning the registration of British children. I was having a look at that, and it's just, it's groundbreaking, because initially, normal they call court, there was some light at the end of the tunnel. They said, oh, okay, well, this £1,012 for registration, it'd be nice, it's too much. So Home Office should reconsider it. And all of a sudden, this Supreme Court's decision, I think almost 2 weeks ago now, has come in, and they've sort of changed their mind a little bit. Sort of said, oh no, it's the government who set the fees, alongside Parliament. They should set the fees at what it should be. It is not up to the courts to decide that, which is sad, in some respects, because unless the Home Office now choose to reduce the fees, or to, get rid of the fees completely, it means that it remains at the same price. It stays at the same cost. So it will mean that we always have to pay £1,012, which is a lot of money just to register a child. You can imagine, darling Jobia, Nebatna had 10 years. Ebiana, because on only leave, no, on Jumaye. Into only Jumaye, no, or ye then add £1,012. I could register never. So it's quite a huge decision, and it means that the financial difficulty in registration will remain as it is for now for all applicants. And this is not the best. I would say it's not the best at all. So that's the update.
Okay. So apart from that, BBA Fufrubia my with the UK.
We have a few other updates. We have an update
all
to do
until after April.
After April, as you know, if we are talking about the uplift in fees, sometimes in April, you have that. But around the immigration rules and case law itself, we have a few updates. Even there's a recent case that's come out. It's a Supreme Court case as well. RC1. It says something about indefinite leave to remain can be cancelled abroad. Okay, so let's say, for example, this is a modern case. You go to Ghana, you have your indefinite leave to remain, your settlement, you're happy, you're living in the sun. What they're trying to say is it can be cancelled abroad.
Why?
Well, there are many reasons why indefinite leave to remain can be cancelled. Acquire or fast indefinite leave to remain. For example, let's say Serbia, to show that you qualify for indefinite, you need to show, for example, that you've lived here for 10 years lawfully, and maybe some of the documents are you used to prove that 10 years lawful residence. No, a fraudulent or fake, for example. And I say, more information concerning your indefinite leave to remain application, and it was not the right information. So you've misrepresented your case, really.
But the thing is, they already look into it and granted you the leave. So why are they not going back, looking into it, and
that is a very interesting question. That's a very interesting question, Darling G. So the Home Office have the right. They have that right to continually, assess. Although they've concluded on cases, continually check on cases again to see whether, the decision they made was a sound one and it was just, and the applicant, of course, indeed deserves or is entitled to that right. So they reserve that right. They can check at any time.
So, okay, now let me ask you this. Yeah. I've got indefinite leave to remain. I've got my settlement. I can decide not to go for their passport. Do you understand? Into such a person, if I go and stay in Ghana, would they have right to remove me? But what about some passport now as a British citizen? That one is untouchable. Is that correct? Can you make clarification?
So that's not untouchable, because the new nationality bill, they give so many different ways and means in which they can use to actually deprive you of your British citizenship. So none of them are untouchable. And with British citizenship, naturalizing as British, for example, they still reserve the right to deprive you of your citizenship if maybe there are certain things that have been done, or in the past when you were making the application, there was certain information you provided that was not truthful, that was fraudulent, that the set information you misrepresented, they can still take it back. And that I have dealt with a live case like that before. So basically, he had naturalized as British. Everything was beautiful, hunky-dory, and he was very happy.
So
all of this,
go ahead. Yeah.
To say that the British citizenship has been revoked. So it can happen to anybody if the information that you provided, or after getting the passport, there's your conduct, usubine
afunya paso ujimi sabe you. Okay.
So you are not untouchable once you're British, and neither are you untouchable once you have your indefinite leave to remain. As this current case is stated, they can take it from you abra only hakra or Ghana, but and darling J, you can only imagine how difficult that would be.
Yeah.
You are holidaying in Ghana only to be sent an email to yourself saying that your indefinite has been cancelled.
Wow.
How do you make it back?
That would be madness. Okay.
So they're making things much tighter. So I think we should be very careful how we make our applications. Sometimes, darling, I just want to add this. I know we finished, but I just want to add this. Sometimes we become so desperate. We become really desperate. Maybe we really want to qualify for indefinite, or we badly want to naturalize as British. And because of desperation, because we don't meet the rules or, the law as it stands, we try and add false documentation to ensure that we indeed meet it. But the documentation is not proper. Maybe P60s, or more manufacture P60s. The bank statements, Monzo account, who say this account is fake. We have to be very, very careful. Don't be desperate. But maybe there may be something.
Can the bank statement be faked?
Yes, darling Jay, I've had instances where you get clients who want to prove a point, like a point of maybe dependency, and they manufacture bank statements.
Wow.
They manufacture money transfer receipt because they are desperate. They want to meet the rules so badly that they will do anything to do so. Okay. Sometimes, let me tell you a secret, darling Jay, it's not every time you meet the rules. Yes, but you've honestly disclosed everything you have and you provide what you have. Then we can then make the submissions on your behalf. Maybe there's a reason why I fall short, kakra. There may be a reason. You may have other evidence. Don't ever make an application with the fake documents. Whoever you send the document,
it's a risk taking.
Very risky. I think that is what I will leave with the listeners today.
Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully next week, same time, we shall be here and continue with our legal education. So without much wasting time, we have to let you go to continue with your good job that you are doing to serve the Ghanaian community. So until same time next week, have a wonderful day and happy Valentine once again.
Many happy returns.
So Valentine, but okay, thank you very much, Amy. Until next week. All right. It's 4 minutes after 11 o'clock. This is GN Radio. We are done with the legal hour. So the show ends now. My name is Darling J, your host. And of course, on the other side, we had Amy Dental from Abinelle Solicitors. Thank you very much, Nana Juman. Thank you very much, each and every person who did listen to the show. We really appreciate your listenership. Thank you. Until then, stay blessed and a happy Valentine to you all.
smiling long after you depart. Call us on 0540-125-555 or 0540-125-554 or find us on social media at Pediasi Valley Resort. Pediasi Valley Resort.